All right, guys, I think we're live. Let's take a look. Oof, got stuff all over the place. All right, here we go. So we are live. Got to post it into the streams section here on my Discord channel. So if people would like to join, they can. And let's make sure we're up and running everywhere else as well, not just on my computer. All right, I think we're looking all right. Okay, we had some mail stuff we needed to pick up here. Group gifts, of course, got to get those. All right. Sending out friendship chips, of course, no big deal. Mail, is there anything else? Group gifts? No, we don't want any of those. Daily quests. I think I still need to pick up. It is Sunday. Good morning to everyone. Morning, Rodney. Nice to have you here. It is definitely a little early for me on a Sunday. Yes, we're waking up a little bit. Hey, Wally, nice to have you here. Thank you for hopping on to the live stream. I do also still need to collect well, I need to collect this also. Didn't do that. Then I also have not collected the 500 energy from this event just yet, so I'll have to do that as well. We're definitely still waking up a little bit, I'll be 100% honest. But it's gonna be fun. I'm glad that, this gets me going. I mean, it's fun to play Hero Wars, so nothing wrong with that, and it's fun hanging out with you guys. So, hello, Koshik. Nice to have you here. Thank you for hopping on to the live stream. Currently, I am just going to collect a couple of the free links because I did not do that just yet. But then I do want to talk a little bit about Peppy, just because Peppy is the hero of the month for Facebook and web. I like to just talk real briefly about Peppy and my thoughts on Peppy. I know there's not usually too many new players that we have come to our live streams during the live streams, but sometimes I do get questions about the hero of the month after the fact. So I personally think Peppy's pretty good. I do think Peppy is best utilized with Cleaver, which is a very difficult character to get. But I think Peppy overall is a very interesting character because of her abilities, right? So one of her abilities is it gives her the opportunity to basically do 4 times damage, which is crazy. This right here, the Trickster damage, quadruple damage chance is crazy. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, every time you upgrade the skill, the chance to quadruple damage goes up. You can see here, it started around like, I want to say like maybe 10%, and now it's at 15%. For quadruple, double damage is also pretty high. Basically, Frolic, this skill here, gets an opportunity to do even more damage. So I've seen Peppy be pretty effective from a backline perspective. Could be very helpful if you're new to the game and you're just starting out and you get Peppy. Not a bad hero to keep upgrading, I would say. You never know if you'll actually get Cleaver right away or later in the game, but either way, Peppy is actually a pretty useful character overall. I would say she's definitely one to pick up if you can, and definitely someone to consider if you're brand new to the game. If you're not new to the game, it doesn't hurt to still acquire Peppy. Peppy is a very, interesting hero. I wouldn't say that she's one of the top 10 yet, but she's definitely a hero that you could use in a lot of different scenarios. So just a heads up there. Um, Hello, Wizard. Hello, Gary. Nice to have you guys here. Grabnell, nice to have you here as well. No worries, no worries. There you go. Yeah, the replays are definitely cool. I like the fact that YouTube actually helps post those videos after the fact, which is really nice. I really appreciate that on YouTube's part. But yeah, no, so definitely, hopefully you didn't miss too much. But yeah, I'd say the big things we talked about yesterday really are mainly related to King Biscuit, right? The new pet that we have coming out. I'm still looking forward to it. I know there were some concerns that Sebastian might counter King Biscuit, but I think King Biscuit brings too much to the table to be countered solely by Sebastian, if I'm being honest. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. We'll see more of the details once King Biscuit does actually come out, which will be next week, right? But I'm expecting a lot of teasers because usually Hero Wars likes to tell us more about it in the week leading up to it to build up some hype. Understandably so. That's a good marketing strategy for them, right? So it just makes sense that they would do that. But yeah, no, absolutely. Hello, Melissa. Happy Sunday to you as well. I hope you guys are all having a good Sunday. It is early for me still. Usually, I will say I typically like to sleep in, but on the weekends at least. But yes, so we are doing well. Let's see, Fellowship of Guardians is the event that we have going on right now. I don't know if I'm going to open that many Outland chests. I do think I'll probably be able to acquire the 1500 energy. I don't know about the chests per se. Not planning on purchasing any emeralds. Okay, so we got that. Let's see what else we got. We got some keys, I think, maybe to use. 10 more at least. So there's that. No chaos cores. Bummer. We got to start our expeditions though. Always got to do those daily, right? These are super important. It's like eating your vegetables, kind of. It's not great, but you got to do it, right? Right? Okay. Anyway, sorry. That's my term for it because sometimes clicking on these can be a little bit tedious, but it's not bad. I guess maybe the dungeon is more like that because the dungeon feels like that never ends. But anyway, Astaroth, Celeste, Maya, Arachne, and Faceless team. Does this team work? Mustafa, I think that team is not bad. Let's see, Astaroth, Celeste, Maya, Arachne, and Faceless. I would consider, with this particular team, having another option in case Faceless doesn't necessarily work out. So having someone like Sebastian or Jorgen could be very helpful with your team, Mustafa, but I do like the Arachne Maya combination. It's not a super highly utilized option, but it definitely is one that is not bad. So I definitely would like that. I just think that using someone in place of Faceless could be useful depending on your opponent. So overall, I like that team. I like that team a lot. Um, Only the slow of second skill is countered by Seb. The mark is the same as the slow mark that Frozen Visage gives out when breathing. Yeah, I could see that. I still think though that that's kind of a minor thing. The really big thing with King Biscuit is the ability to prevent healing, right? So that's huge. Like because I think that's mainly meant to counter someone like Ziri, right? So Ziri burrows underground and just regenerates health, right? Leaving right for a stall kind of tactic. I think it's Shelter of Sands. So if Ziri's health is below a certain percent, she burrows into the ground for a set period of time, avoiding enemy attacks and restoring health. So if she doesn't recover any health during that time, it's kind of a big game changer. It allows for that stall team to be a lot less effective, right? So I think this is a King Biscuit's a direct problem for someone who uses Ziri as their main tank. I mean, I never really loved Ziri as an option in the first place, but I know people who like Ziri. So I think this could be a big problem for people who use and rely on Ziri as their main tank. Hopefully there's not too many of you guys, but yeah, Ziri's definitely going to struggle a little bit with King Biscuit coming out. Not being able to recover during Shelter of Sands. I mean, the whole reason she burrows in the first place is because she's already in danger of getting knocked out. So if you're not restoring any health during that time, now you're really in trouble, right? If you have Ziri as your particular tank. As for the snowballs are still going to be dealing damage. So I mean, even if they're not frozen, I still think it's a pretty big deal that you're getting hit with damage. I'm going to assume physical damage because that will still be useful against someone like Rufus, right? Because Rufus just can't be knocked out from what is it? Can't be knocked out from magic damage and pure damage. So the damage that has to be done to Rufus has to be physical in nature. So that could be something to be aware of. Do you have Jew in your server? If so, change Faceless. Yeah, Jew's not bad. Jew's not bad. But you do have to get Jew like to a decent strength. You can't just have Jew be like yellow or orange and expect you to match up with the rest of your team. You do need to get Jew up significantly. I would say red is probably a good spot. Mine's at red +1, but I think red is usually a good spot for Jew, at least on your team. And you'll see he's very, very useful at that red level. Orange, he's all right, but I think once you get to red, you just see a huge game change with Juice specifically, and he's really good against Seymour, who's the final boss. That can be a huge asset to you when you're trying to complete campaign, right? So in campaign, Seymour is the last boss here, and I really find that Juice very, very, very helpful with that last boss. Of course, Faceless is also helpful, so keep those two usable, I would say, because you don't want to be like just thriving in one part of the game and then leaving the rest of your game behind. So yeah, King Biscuit is a massive counter to healers, but doesn't block self-healing, which is vampirism, I think, so Dorian will rise. I think Dorian's always been an underutilized player on Facebook. I see him a lot on mobile now because he's in the merchant. So I've always been using Dorian on mobile. I haven't been using Dorian on Facebook or web because I didn't really know how useful he could be, and I couldn't get enough soul stones to make him usable for me on Facebook and web early in the game. Um, but yeah, I think those are a couple of things that I would point out there. Someone was asking me the other day if I was to start a brand new account, which I have, what hero I would go with. I would go with Dante. Dante is crazy effective. And what pet I would use Kane currently without having knowledge of what King Biscuit can do. I would create a dodge team. That's kind of what I'm doing with my new account on web. But I can go into that a little bit more. Someone else was asking me about that. I'll have to respond to that on YouTube later. Let's see. Um, we'll hit my year mark playing the game on the 2nd, which is also your birthday. Happy early birthday to you, O Negro. I believe that's tomorrow, right? So tomorrow is the 2nd. And so tomorrow will be 1 year and your birthday. Happy birthday, O Negro. That's awesome. Congratulations. You're going to be 1 year wiser. That's how I like to phrase that. The snowball's magic damage shown in the video, 25k magic damage with a pet paw. Okay, I didn't see that, Wizard, but you're probably right. I probably should have looked at that more carefully. I mean, we'll see if they keep it with magic, but that'll be interesting. I was saying the enemy's team have Jew, bad idea to have Faceless on the team because he can't tank the back. Yeah, I definitely think that having someone who's not Faceless would be good. Kark team, best pet. I personally like using Kark so I use Kark as my main team. I like using Mara as my main team because, and instead of this team, I'll use Isaac usually. So when I'm attacking, I use this kind of a team. I just try not to use Isaac on my arena defense team because, quite frankly, I use Isaac for, at least I think I use Isaac for Guild Wars, and I want to give the Guild Wars team a different look than the team that I'm using for arena. So I want to maximize our team and make it a little bit more difficult for opponents to figure us out. I don't necessarily want to have the exact same team. Nothing wrong with it. That's how I personally like to play it. I probably could put Isaac into a team here somewhere. Now that I'm thinking about it, my weakest hero is Helios. I guess we can put Isaac here. But yeah, so just something there. It's been quite some time since we last had the hero artifact event, hasn't it? Trying to think. Yeah, I think it has been a little while, but I don't think we will see that until after the pet event at the earliest. Then the other event that we haven't seen in a little while is well, I don't know. We have had a couple times force sales, but we haven't had the purely Soulstone event, which I mean, I guess this one could be considered that event, but we don't have a times 4 sale with it. So I would say it's a little bit different. But yeah, I think the hero artifact event will be coming. It's just a matter of time. It's probably going to be 2 or 3 weeks away, I think. At the earliest, we'll see it after the pet event, or in the next 2 weeks after that, I'd say. I don't think it's going to be a huge rush item for Hero Wars particularly, but I do think that there is definitely, it's been a little bit of time since we had it. I agree. Okay, so don't forget we are trying to save eggs, so I'm not going to try to go too crazy on these. But we'll open these. Oh, we got some eggs, which is nice. Nice. We got a bunch of eggs there. We got a total of what? 21, 27 eggs. Gonna hold on to all of those. That's cool. But yeah, we're definitely trying to save eggs because eggs, again, you're gonna need, I think, anywhere. I'm gonna double check the numbers, but I think it's around 70 eggs, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, I'm trying to collect some eggs in preparation for next week's big event. Right? We have I'm just gonna raid this one. We have the new pet coming out, King Biscuit. So usually what happens is you need portal charges. Got 8 more eggs, awesome. You're gonna need portal charges because you need to open a certain number of what do you call it? You need to open a certain number of chests, right? Like we just did, and you're gonna need a bunch of eggs to be summoning. So try to hold on to those. I'm trying not to open any right now for the next week, which is gonna kind of be unfortunate because then I'm gonna lose out on 100 pet potions. But I kind of think that 700 pet potions is worth giving up in exchange for collecting the number of eggs that I want. So I'll definitely think about that. How's my energy today? My energy is doing pretty good. I will say I did kind of wake up recently, like within like 20 minutes of prior to doing the stream. So my mind's not 100% working just yet, but we're getting there. We're getting revved up. We're getting there for the day. So yeah, not too bad. Hopefully you guys are doing well as well. It is a great Sunday and it's crazy, but it's August 1st, guys. We are in a brand new month. I'm still thinking it's July, but it's August. Time is moving forward. It's crazy. Okay. I was talking about the ult, should have mentioned that, but yeah, I think the violet will decrease all healing. Yeah, I think so I'm trying to get caught up here. So you're talking about King Biscuit? Yeah, King Biscuit's ability to basically decrease healing, I think would prevent some of Dorian's at least because let's say Galahad, right, who hits every single target hits, then Dorian would stop that vampirism for all the heroes who are going to be regaining health during that particular time. But it's only when the master's attack actually hits that target, right? So if your heroes are in the back line, and then the hero who is the quote unquote master of King Biscuit hits someone that's not in that back line, the healing's still going to be going on for those backline heroes. So it's just going to depend on the timing of the hit and who is affected. But yeah, I agree with that. Not all tasks are worth getting. I agree with that. But I will say, if you're a new player, it doesn't hurt to try to complete them all. At least for the daily tasks. I like to do most of the daily tasks. I like to try to do all of them usually, but some of them definitely are not necessarily worth doing depending on what you have in store for the long haul. So for me, I'm not going to do a pet summoning because, again, I'm just trying to save my pet eggs for the actual event that we're having next week, which I think will involve opening eggs. I'm not going to say it's for sure, but I'm feeling kind of confident that eggs will be one of the tasks we need to do when it comes to that 7-day pet event of King Biscuit coming very, very soon. And I think after that event, the next new thing we will see will be a new hero closer to Halloween. Closer to Halloween. Just a heads up. That's just my 2 cents based on my feel of the game. We'll see what happens, but that's what I think. I won't go into too much about that, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think Tristan might come. But yes, oh yes, thank you. If you hit that thumbs up button, it does help a lot. So I appreciate that if you can. Um, but yes, it does help. Thank you, Ollie, for mentioning that. It means a lot. Okay. Yes, oh Negro, it does only count once. You're right. You're right. You're right. Okay, so we're opening some chests here, and let's see. I definitely will need to focus on some of my alternate heroes to try to take down some of these higher level bosses because I haven't really been too focused on going to try to take these guys down. But I know, ooh, yes, we got taken out in one hit. Need to work on that dodge for Yasmin because that shouldn't be happening. But okay, there we go. And I know Rufus is usually really good against the Incinerator. But hey, it is what it is. And I love Albus for this particular pet. It's just a matter of I don't have enough HP or health, right? I call him HP now. I've been looking at Pokemon too much, guys. Been looking at too much Pokemon. But anyway, okay. So with this, Satori is obviously the best choice, but I don't have a strong enough Satori, so I'm gonna have to come back to that. But just some things that I'm looking at in terms of the Outland. I know who I need to use. It's just a matter of me having enough resources to do so. Let's see. Where is my Rufus even? there's Rufus. We can create this, so we will. Might as well upgrade Rufus to purple +3. Equip some items since we're going to need to get everyone to absolute eventually anyway. Might as well do it now. And I don't think I need these for my main team heroes, so that's fine. No big deal. Making Rufus a little bit stronger. Faceless here. I was trying to complete this cicada portion of the item here, but do I really want to expend energy on it? I don't know if I do. How close am I to the next task will be my question. Let's see. Okay, yeah, well, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do one bottled energy. We're gonna try to finish off the middle item here for Path of Madness. Oh, that's unfortunate. We're short, but it's okay. We're close. The next ones are going to be Lamort cards and building a lot more of these hearts. I think they're flaming hearts. Yep. And then I need to do the piercing gaze recipe. And we got the creative world, which is another annoying item to make. Guys, when you get to red, it's a lot. When I think about the new pet, I just want to slide. Yeah, no, I definitely think that it's kind of cool that the animations that they make for the new pet. I really like the I don't know, when they had King Biscuit slide down the hill, it was kind of cool. I was like, oh man, I kind of want to go go to the slopes or something like that, and I don't know, go skiing, just go something like I don't know, look cool. I really like that, so I definitely thought it was kind of cool. I feel you with that. Definitely thinking about sliding. Okay, I hear that. Okay, let's see. Let's look at some more heroes. I kind of want to upgrade other ones as well because I don't want too many of my heroes falling behind. I know I have enough items to promote a bunch of my heroes, and I like to get everyone past the purple stage or at least into purple like +1 or +2. I think a lot of them are +1. Let me double check. Is anyone not +1? Well, you're no longer +1, which is good. I want to. Oh, Alvanor's not +1 yet, so we're gonna need to acquire some magic hats. Magical hats reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh there for a second because you just think of the Dark Magician. Oh my goodness, I'm nerding out, guys. But anyway, yes. All right, so there's that. Alvanor is now purple +1. No longer in the purple only club. Is anyone else? Astrid and Lucas also. Okay, so I think I'm going to make sure that I get all of my heroes here to purple +1 on this stream. That is my goal. And I'm going to use emeralds there. Oh, we're short. One more time, emeralds. There we go. And now we have a purple +1 Ashton Lucas. I love the fact that with the skins, the little character changes. I think that's Lucas, right? Or wait, no, Lucas is the owner. Astrid is the Lucas is the dog. Or yes, Lucas is the dog or the little animal, and it changes with every skin. Like it's just kind of cool. I think that's kind of cool. Got a polar bear. We got I don't know. Is that technically an eagle? Not sure. But we got the bunny rabbit, and we got this like demon dog, and we got regular. I'm not sure. Is that a cat or a dog technically? I don't know. But anyway, I think it's kind of cool that it switches out like that. Um, but yes, okay. So everyone is at least now purple +1, I believe, right? +1, +1, +1, +1, +2, +1. Yeah. So every hero that I have now is at least purple +1, which is good, if not better. And I eventually wanted to get everyone to orange at least here in the next little bit. I'm not going to say timeline, but I'd like to get them stronger. Hi, Jay. Do you have a concept for rating items? Yeah, so the best way typically, if you want like the quote unquote best drops, you're supposed to. Now, this is a less proven theory, but if you do the raid times 10, you're supposed to get the best results because who knows, you're guaranteed at least one item of the item that you're seeking every 10 raids. So in 20 raids, you're guaranteed two. But if you do a raid in times 10 and you happen to get two, you already got a better drop rate than if you would have if you did the raid times 20. So The thought process is that rating times 10 is the quote unquote ideal rating amount. I don't necessarily believe that, but sometimes the results are a little bit better. So there's one, right? So we got one, which is what we're guaranteed to get. And doing it again, we got another one. So that would have been what the drop rate was anyway. But yeah, so people do think that rating it times 10, and here you got two, right? So this would be the equivalent of rating it 20 times because you got two lucky drops. But I don't know. I think the RNG, it won't really change that much. It's just you're forcing the RNG to pick more times. So hypothetically speaking, you should have a higher mathematical chance if you're using the raid times 10 option more times than if you just raid all of them at one time. So if you're talking about the quote unquote best practice, I guess you would say that the raid times 10 is the ideal way to go about it. So you get the most items of the item that you want. I personally don't necessarily believe that, but that is kind of how it works out, right? It's kind of like when we have the questions, right? I don't know if you remember, but sometimes we have an event where we have, I think it's Hero's birthday, where they ask questions about Dominion. And when you answer them, you can use 10 tickets or one ticket. It's kind of like you have a better chance at getting more of a thing if you do the raid times 10. But if you get lucky with the RNG, right, and you do a raid times like 20 or 30, and let's say you get a good spin, then you'll get a lot of items. Or if so it's a risk. I mean, I personally think the safer option is a times 10, but I like to just do the bigger one because it's faster, easier, makes more sense for me personally, but it just depends. I'm going for cat. Gotcha. Griffin. Okay, yeah. You guys are right about the Ashton Lucas. Yeah, definitely a Griffin. I'm right. You're right. I'm wrong. But yes. Okay, I knew it was something bird-like. But yeah, I think it's kind of cool that Ashton Lucas has all those little changes. Little changes, we'll call them. But yeah, I definitely think I use Ashton Lucas a lot on mobile, and I actually find pretty useful, hero, and I like Ashton Lucas especially for the what do you call it, the Outland. I really think highly of Ashton Lucas in Outland. Underrated in Outland. Let's see, siege crossbow. Don't have enough for that. Let's see. Outland shop. Okay, we'll get it. And then I just need to finish off this, and then we'll be upgrading Ashton Lucas. Don't want to use too much more energy. Okay, that's good. So we're good. And now we've got Ashton Lucas up to +2. We'll just equip whatever we have. Create. Okay, and I'm done upgrading Ashton Lucas for now after that. Okay, so there we go. We've improved our heroes a little bit. I don't know if he'll really move anything in the rankings. Not really. But we're close. I mean, it's only 300k off. Not a big deal. So there we go. We got that going. Let's see. Titanite. We've got to at least claim so that we're doing our part, right? At least 150. That's a minimal requirement, especially when you have the cards, right? Let's see. Open chest and tower. Open a chest. We'll open a chest. See what happens. I really like when we have the ×2 heroes of the day. I think that was cool. I don't know why they keep like having it as like a one-day event and then not having it. I think it's kind of cool when they have it. But there's that. So we're speeding through these. Arena, Grand Arena, Heroic Missions. I won't do any of those. Special events. We got some Skinstone chests, the 10 ones. I call them mini because they're not 150, which are the large Skinstone chests now all of a sudden. How do I feel about that? I don't love that. But it is what it is. So there's that. Let's see, inventory. Next week, the only thing that I probably might consider doing a little bit of is using some of the skin stones, not all of them, of course, because sometimes you get the level up a skin of a hero 3 times task, and so I'm gonna be cognizant of that. But well, yeah, I'm not gonna upgrade anyone other than I'm gonna use what I already have. I'll upgrade Isaac 1 time. So there's that. But yeah, I do think it's also possible that one of the daily tasks will be to upgrade skins. So you might not want to necessarily use all of your skinstone chests if you get some during this event. I probably should have said that yesterday, but now that I'm thinking about it, it makes sense that might happen. So just a heads up, you never know. And as soon as I do know about those, they definitely we'll go about that. I think they should have a mini box event. I think that would be pretty cool. If they had the mini box event, I think it would have to be during Hero War's birthday. That just seems to make the most sense. But I guess we could see that would be cool. That'd be very cool if they had like some of those rewards they have in those boxy gifts are crazy good. I really like those. Those are cool. And they were really helpful when I was new to playing. Just you can't really be without those boxy gifts. Those are some good gifts. Okay, so we're gonna probably I don't know if we'll win, but we're gonna just go for it anyway. Is it really problematic when you have mage team or strength team heroes need the same items? Do you have a trick for that, Jay? Yeah, okay, so I know what you're talking about. You're talking about where, and I do have this issue on my newer accounts, is where like Lars and Krista, they need literally the same items. It's like the staff of neutralization. He needs two of them. Uh, well, I don't see Krista has a need for it, but key to all doors. I mean, a lot of them need the Lamort cards, right? Lamort cards are everywhere for Krista. Same with Lars. Same with Celeste, right? So if you have one of those teams, right? So Lamort cards popular. I would say focus one hero at a time. It's easier said than done, but that's kind of my opinion, and I guess it would depend on your team. So, for example, and I will hop over to server 51 because I have that exact issue on server 51, and you can see it with me. So I'm going to go ahead and hop over to 51, and we're going to talk about that particular dilemma where you basically have 3 or 4 heroes fighting for the exact same item, right? And it can be super annoying because not only did you just create that item and it took you like 2 weeks to create one item, um, you're gonna have to do it like 5 or 6 more times. So my advice to avoid burnout from doing that is to focus on a singular hero. So we're gonna hop on to 51 here. It's loading up. And I think the key thing here is that I just pick one hero. So you'll see my main team, right, is comprised of Aurora, the twins, Celeste, and Sebastian. Now, when you look at Aurora, she needs certain items. Krista needs certain items, and you'll see again Lamort cards everywhere. So Lamort card, let's see, Lamort cards, right? And then where's Celeste, right? They need these books. They need the staff. We need the Asclepius staff. I can't pronounce that very well. Sebastian, right, needs certain items as well that overlap. Let me find. Well, I guess these ones overlap a little bit less, but they do overlap occasionally. And with Lars, right, a lot of staffs are needed. I would say focusing on one hero at a time. So my team, right, is Aurora, the twins, Celeste, and Sebastian. So to make my team run, a lot of the opponents that I have to face will also have the twins. And to counter that, I use Aurora significantly. Aurora is very important to my team strategy. So I focused on getting Aurora to red first, right? Because everyone is at orange +4. I focused on getting Aurora to red first. And now I'm going to focus on probably Krista and finishing off these 2 items. And then I'll go to my next hero. So basically, my tip or trick is to focus on a hero that you think is going to make the most impact on your team. So I don't know the exact team you're using, Will Bill, but like if you're using like Astaroth, Kark, and that kind of a team, I would say focusing on Kark is probably going to be your main bet and probably your smartest bet when you're talking about upgrading and who to upgrade first because unfortunately, you are going to have to use all of the items eventually, right? You're going to have to upgrade all of them eventually to get them all to absolute. That's just how it is. And a lot of them are repetitive. So I would just say focus on the ones that are going to be the most impactful in your matchup. So for me, Aurora makes the biggest difference. Not only is the dodge crazy and it helps my entire team, but it just helps against magic attackers. And there's a lot of magic attackers on my server. And it also protects my entire team because keeping Aurora alive allows for her first skill to go off more, allowing for her artifact, right, which allows for dodge to have an impact on my entire team. So it just made the most sense for me to focus on Aurora first, get her to red, and then go to my damage dealers, which are Krista and Lars, right? So those are my 2 damage dealers. Then I'll probably go to Celeste and Sebastian, healer and control, right? So the reason I'm going about this way is just because it's the most effective for my team. right? And it'll see the biggest impact first. So I would just say go in order of how you think it'll help your team the most. And depending on your team, I think that's the best case. So if you have a mage team, I would say, again, probably like focusing on Krista, then Lars, then Celeste would probably be a good order if those are heroes you have. If they're not, then tell me who you have and we can kind of go from there. But I think going with how effective they are on your server and who your team is, that's a great way to go about it. So, Bill, if you want, go ahead and tell me your entire team, and we can talk about who you should probably be focusing on first. Unless you have the exact same team that I do, then I would say maybe something similar to what I did is probably not a bad call. Just because again, it's about effectiveness, and you want to maximize effectiveness without sacrificing too much. So, like if you focus on each individual hero, yeah, you'll upgrade them slightly, but you'll have a better odds of just completing the entire upgrade before you just go one at a time for each hero. It's slower and the results will not be as good. That's my opinion. So there's that. Hopefully that was helpful, Will Bill. If not, let me know and I can expand on that, and you can also tell me who you have, and we can go further into that as well. But that's kind of my thought process on it. Is you want to focus on one hero at a time, and you want to go with the hero that's going to have the biggest impact on your gameplay. So I'm going to collect a trine here, I think. Let's see. We'll collect those as well. Yep, throwing knives. Excellent. Soul shop, trading those in. I want this recipe. There's another one. Nice. I want that. Apostle's mace. Well, you can collect that. Key to all doors, definitely going to be needed. Piercing gaze, I think I'm going to need that in the future. Got our Oracle's sensor. So we're getting some items that we need, which is good. So there's that. But yeah, I definitely think that that's probably Aurora, Celeste, Invari, Dante, Jet. Yeah, so I would say focusing on Aurora, Dante, and Invari are probably your top priorities. I would say Aurora and Dante probably the most, right? Those two are probably the most useful on your team. I would say going with Aurora first because Aurora has the tank and really helps protect against your magic attackers. And then Dante is probably a close second. You could switch the order in those two, but those two are definitely going to be huge players on your team. Then after that, I'd look at Invari and Celeste. It just depends on kind of the teams that you end up facing and how you like to go about it. But I think Aurora and Dante are your two main stop shops for attack and offense, as well as countering. And then Celeste and Invari will come right after that. Obviously, you don't want to leave Invari behind too much because Invari will be great against Kark teams. I swap Jet with another support here depending on the matchup. I think that's a smart call, but I think in terms of upgrades, Aurora and Dante are the top two you should be focusing on. Then Invari and Celeste shortly after that, and then Jet will be, or Jet and your support hero are okay to fall a little behind, but not too much, depending on who you have. That's just my thought process on it. But Aurora is really good with, you want an effective tank, and keeping Dante alive is important. And Dante with the amount of damage he can do after he is given enough time to ult that first time is scary effective. Scary effective. So I like your team. It's just a matter of, I would say, focusing on Aurora and Dante are your best bet. Okay, so we're upgrading our Sebastian a little bit. I'm gonna need a little more magic defense. So there's that. Critical hit chance, less important for Sebastian himself. So we won't go too far with that, but there's that. But yeah, that's how I would go about it. I think Wally could be wrong, but I think Invari just allows Will Bill to kind of have a little more protection against Kark specifically. If and Dante, wants to survive longer, I think it makes sense to give Dante just that a little bit more time before Kark is allowed to ult, right? So by having Envari around, it delays the ult effect of Kark significantly. So that could be a factor, but yeah, I'll let Will Bill talk about that more. But that's just my hypothesis on that. But yeah, um, because Anvari is super effective against Kark. It would pretty much more or less ensure victory, I would say. Whereas if you leave it up to chance, it's a little bit less certain. I don't know, just my thoughts. Okay, so there's that. Daily quests, right? We got all that. Let's go ahead and have our winner picked for today's live stream. Was it Movie Star yesterday who suggested that we do it this way? I think this is a way better way. There's a bunch of names on the list. But yes, I'm thinking that we do it this way because now you can see it and I don't have to hold up. It's just easier this way. This was a great idea. I don't know why I didn't think of it first, but thank you, Movie Star, for telling me to do it this way. So I hope you guys are all feeling lucky. We're going to have our lucky spin winner picked right now. I'm just going to hit this the spin button here. But yeah, Will Bill here says Anvari offers a lot of protection and protects his support, which makes sense. Makes sense. And the winner is Maverick. Oh, there's a little cool music that goes with it. I did not know that before. I don't know if you can hear that, but yeah, okay. So Maverick, congratulations, you are the winner. Let's see. Oh, I will actually. They're on the Discord channel, right? So go like this, and we'll just go into our Discord channel here, and we'll go to the general. I'm going to say at Maverick, right? Oh, oh. Why is it not popping up? It should be on here. Contest entry. Maverick. There we go. Maverick. So it should be this one. Hi, Maverick. Congrats. You have won. Then they'll respond to me hopefully in a week. And if not, we will figure something out. But there we go. So congratulations to Maverick. Did you start a new list? I did start well, not for this month, but from July, right? So this is still going to be July because July is from the 15th to the 14th of August. And that just kind of because that's how we get rewards from Hero Wars. So it is a new list technically, but it's not a new list from the standpoint of July. So July, right, you have the YouTube video, right? So the YouTube video is for the Saturday streams. So let me find it. So why is it not popping up? Oh, here we go. So the July contest, right? So this video is for the Saturday streams from July 15th to August 14th, right? And then the Discord channel is for the same time period, but for Sundays, right? So, and of course, now I'm getting the Wheel of Death. But no, it's Discord, right? So on my Discord channel, if you go down to Facebook area, right? So if you go to my, you go to Facebook area here, then contest entry, you can put in your ID, right? So after every month, I usually try to put in a new little segment here saying like basically you can start putting in your ID for this particular month, which is again the months end up being 15th to the 14th of the next month because of how these things play out. So I say July 15th to August 15th. Because we get rewards every 15th, so that's when we can restart the entry period. So that's kind of how I'm going about it. So yeah, you can definitely put your name again on here for the month of July to August 14th. Then I'll have another one from August 14th to or August 15th to the next month. So there's that. Sorry, we're getting a little bit of construction next door. But anyway, so there's that. And that's how you can enter the contest. So hopefully that helps. Congratulations to Maverick. It is Facebook, but if you are a web player as well, you can put your names in there as well because I'm still trying to get web to cooperate with me with getting rewards. So I'm going to send them an email later today. But we'll figure something out for web. And if you get picked as a web player, what ends up happening is I just write down your name, and when we get the rewards for web, I will talk to you, and we'll get things sorted out, and you will get your reward. Just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. So don't worry there. So there we go with that airship. I just got to do the airship real quick anyway. Here, then I'm going to play a little bit on my web account, which is still very, very new. And we're growing slowly but surely, right? I want to hit level 60 soon, ideally before the next event, but we'll see how that plays out. We're just trying to slowly grow, right? So let's check out that web account. It is a baby account and very good, but how does he protect your supports, especially when your team is mostly mage with Dante? Well, Envari will protect Jet from getting knocked out too early because usually caught by Envari. So that's one way that Envari can also be helpful is by minimizing the amount of damage that Yasmin can do by constraining her for short periods of time. So sometimes that can be effective. I've seen it. I've seen it work. Okay, so we're going to collect some Aurora Soul Stones. So there's that, and I'm using Dante here. I really like this combination of Heidi, Dante, and Aurora. They all have dodge effects, which I think are pretty cool. And yeah, they play on one another very well, very synergetic. Hey, Christine K, no worries. Nice to have you here. I will be probably going for another about 10 to 15 minutes, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. We talked a little bit about Peppy and how, as the new hero of the month, right? Peppy is not a bad choice. Definitely has some interesting skills. Is a very good mage. Can deal up to quadruple damage, which is crazy. Plus that stun skill, right? Which is, I want to say Fervor. Have to double check. But those skills, right, the third and fourth skills of Peppy really play on one another and are very effective. We talked about if I was having a brand new account, how would I go about it? And I am showing you right here too that I would use probably a dodge-based team currently with Kane, given that we don't know much about King Biscuit just yet. But King Biscuit, obviously, I think is a very cool pet in himself. I think the ability to prevent healing is going to be very impactful, especially to players who use Zeri as their main tank. So those are just a couple, like I guess, the short version of what happened so far. And yeah, so King Biscuit will be coming next week for sure. Holding onto those eggs, holding onto those portal charges. I sound like a broken record, but it's super important if you just are hearing this now. I recommend that. What else? Yeah, those are probably the main things that I can think of right now. And just holding on to your items and not opening anything until we get to next week, because I think next week will be a very big um, high usage item event. So definitely something to look out for. And I think it's exciting that we have a new pet. So yeah, those are a couple things we talked about. Right now I'm on mobile just trying to acquire some soul stones for Aurora. We're trying to get closer to level 60 on this account. We won't be getting there all today, but we'll get closer than we were. So nothing wrong with that. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I do think that another thing that we talked about was kind of having a lot of heroes that have the same needs in terms of items. And I talked about potentially looking at which heroes are the most impactful on your team and help your team the most and targeting those and using the items on those heroes first. So yeah, if I have a complete mage team, Isaac would come and counter easily. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I do think Isaac is very effective, especially when he is stronger than your team. So definitely could be a factor. Um, yeah, I mean, I think as it is, Envari is definitely just helping out his team generally. But I think overall he has a solid base. Aurora and Dante are very good. And I mean, it depends too, because you don't know. We don't know how strong his team is compared to other teams on the same server, right? So even having an item disadvantage could be a big thing, and having Envari there as support definitely helps, I think. So nothing wrong with that. To each their own. And I mean, I'm using a very, I would say it's an off type of setup, but not bad. I think Daredevil is definitely an outlier on this particular team, but currently she's one of my best strength and attackers. So I don't have a problem with leaving her in this squad at the time. I mean, eventually she'll get swapped out because she'll have to go to a different team. But overall, I like the squad so far. I mean, Aurora, super synergetic again with Dante and Heidi. I love them. So, yeah. Dante would be the second hero behind Aurora, so Dante would clap Isaac. I think that's up for interpretation. Depends on how strong the Dante is, but I'd say potentially yes, potentially no. Just depends. I mean, if you have a two-star Dante, you might struggle, right? So it just depends on where they are at strength-wise. Well, you never know. You never know. But I think you're right. I do think that all things equal, Dante would do very well, whether in the second or third position, it wouldn't matter. But yeah, so there's that. Plus, I will say, and having Envari generally, even if he's not on your main team, is never bad because Envari is a very good off tank. I like Envari generally speaking. He's definitely my favorite character, so I might be a little biased on that. But I'm building Envari up on my mobile account because I want to replace my Astaroth with Envari on mobile because Envari on mobile is stronger than Envari on Facebook and web currently. It has a lot more beneficial effects being first in the first position on my team. So definitely looking at that. Yes, thank you guys so much for the support. It does mean a lot when you hit that like button. I appreciate it. And thank you to Wally again for helping promote that as well. Means a lot. Um, Christine K says, I like Dante damage attack. It's very cool when they upgrade Dante's damage got. Yeah, no, his damage was very poor, I would say, early on. But after they did the rework with Dante, he has definitely been very impressive. I think this retribution skill is crazy. And I love the effects, the way it looks when he's throwing those like I'd say javelins or spears, depending on how you want to. What do they call them? They call them spears. Okay, so spears. Well, I guess spears, javelins, they're kind of similar, but basically, definitely very effective. Does a lot of work. I'm definitely impressed with Dante and his rework. I think it's one of the few success. I'm going to say few because there's not that many success stories when it comes to reworks, but that one was very successful. I was very impressed. So there's that. We got the daily login, right? It is August 1st. Crazy. I feel like time is flying by. There's a solar skin I'm going to eventually need to pick up for Dante. Let's see, Dante skins. He is a agility user. So I might use some of these for agility or all of them. See if that gets me a little closer to getting that one skin. Nope, not quite. Need a lot more. That's okay. Cain is Dante's evil brother. I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, no, I do think that. I think Cain is very cool looking and kind of like the little brother of Dante. I could see that for sure. I like that. Dante is my main. He is very fast with Cain, Patron, and Axel team pet. That's solid. Yeah, no, I'm impressed with the combo of Cain and Dante as well. I do like Aurora a little bit better just because Aurora gives protection to Dante. But I think overall, I mean, you can't go wrong. Dante is an absolute monster on the battlefield. Love to see it. Hate to be an opponent of it. But yeah, Dante's very impressive. So there's that. And we got Aurora here, right? And let's see, how close are we to level 50? Oh, we are at 57 now. And we're not that far off from level 58. But let's see, Heidi needs the Serenity Stone. Can we get that? Oh, we can get it at the Tower Shop, and we will. So there's that. We want to grab a couple more Soul Stones of Heidi if we can. So we'll just go for it. Why give Dante Cain's patronage? I would give it to Aurora and give Dante Fenris. Yeah, I think that might be better if you're using both Aurora and Cain. But it depends. It depends on what you're wanting to do. I mean, you can go either way, but I do think that in this particular situation, Cain's patronage might be a little more useful on Aurora. And then giving a little more physical boost to Dante might be a little bit better. But yeah, I would say. Aurora, Envari, Dante, Celeste, Nebula. Yeah, we can try that out. We can definitely do some testing with that. I think it's a pretty interesting team. I don't know how I feel about Nebula being last, but we can check it out. Let's see. So the team was. Let's see. Team Aurora, Dante, Aurora, Celeste. Do I even have Celeste on this account? I might not. Okay. I might have to go to my main account. Let's go to my main Facebook account. And we'll check this out. Hero Wars. All right, so we got this going on. Hi, Ionis. Nice to have you here. Thank you for hopping on. We're just checking out this team before we end the stream. If I'm being honest, I'm going to change servers because I like being on this one. It's just more comfortable for me. Waiting on Christmas to come around to get that Dante winter skin. Yeah, that's a good pickup, especially now that Dante's a lot more useful. I definitely think that's a good pickup if you can get that skin from the Winterfest event. So let's see. We're talking about this particular team. We got Aurora, Dante. Oh, there's Dante. Dante, Aurora. Oh, no, not Mojo. Aurora, Celeste, and Vari, and the other one was Nebula, I think, right? So this team. And let's see, we can challenge it with a Kark team, maybe. Maybe something like this. Let's see what happens. Ooh, Aurora got taken down. But I think part of that, too, is going to be the fact that pets aren't at play here. But I'm surprised Kark lasted as long as he did. But yeah, with Envari, Kark does eventually go down. So there's that one, right? With the general Kark team. Well, I say general, but one option of a Kark team. I think if I were to face this team, I would use probably. I would look at the undead probably, and I'd probably go with. Could go twins. Then you could go probably someone like Jorgen, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of different teams you could go with, but I think pets would definitely play a big role. I do kind of think that having Kane on Aurora might be more effective because what's going to happen is Aurora will have more dodge for the entire team, like Wally was saying here. Then that'll just allow your Dante to still have a lot of dodge, but then the physical attack will just go up, which could be a big impact play. I don't know. Just my thoughts. I don't know. You can go either way. So Dante just got taken down. And there goes your back line, and then it gets taken down. So Undead might be a little bit difficult for this particular team. But, I think the other thing is Jorgen's tough, too. Um, but, you never know. Let's see. Aurora's good against magic attackers. So if we just went twins, you'd probably win. How would it do against a team like this, though? Let's check it out. Astaroth, Yasmin, Kira, Seb, or Nebula. Let's see how it goes against that team. Wow, sounds like a little thunderstorm going on outside. Crazy, because it was sunny earlier today. So, there you go. The silence coming into play there. Kira getting knocked out. Yasmin's still alive. Will probably get taken down and does. So I'd say the team's pretty well balanced. Your only threat, I think, would be a Corvus Morgan setup. Potentially, then something with Jorgen because Jorgen would just slow down the energy gain of your team. But I think if you had, I do kind of think still that you might want to consider patroning Kane to Aurora for two reasons. One is Aurora is going to get hit the most early. That'll just allow for more dodge spamming and more of her initial skills to go off with Kane, right? Because this is an energy boost for every successful dodge. So basically, it would be a vicious cycle of Aurora just spamming her ult every 3 hits, I think is the mathematical calculation. So I think that would be really beneficial. Obviously, gaining energy for Dante would not be bad, but I think if Dante were able to get some more power from, let's say, not Merlin. No. Maybe, the patronage stats here are physical attack and armor penetration, which would just mean that Dante's attacks would be more impactful, right? So stronger. Where with this, you just get more dodge and physical attack. So even though the physical attack would be lost on Aurora, because of the Dark Patron skill, I think it might be more useful to consider putting that on your Aurora. See how that goes. So Will Bill, if you ever come across a team that you lose to that you think, it was so close, try switching it up onto Kane and seeing how Kane on Aurora does for you. Just go ahead and test it out, or test it out on your own battle team to see what you think. I mean, ultimately, it's going to be your decision, but I definitely would consider checking out swapping those in. And Dorian, I think, would be a good addition to your team in place of Nebula, maybe even Will Bill. So maybe. Axel Team Pet makes Dante killer after 15 seconds from the start. Lilith, Jorgen, Jew, Dorian, Nebula put this team versus that team. Okay, yeah, you got it. We'll test out. You want to do Lilith? Interesting choice. Lilith, Jorgen, and Jew. Jorgen. Jorgen's going to be good against any team right now with this lineup. Let's see. Jorgen. There's Jorgen, Dorian, and Nebula. Interesting. Okay, so Nebula is going to help Jew significantly with attacks and will help protect Jorgen, while that vampirism to Jorgen is also helpful. Question is going to be, can Lilith sustain long enough to help Jew do his thing? So they knocked out Celeste. Nebula got taken out. The opposing Nebula also got taken out. Now it's a 3v4. And Lilith is holding her own, surprisingly, doing better than I expected. Dorian's down. But now Jew is in an area where he can get vampirism, but gets taken out, and it's a timeout. So pretty interesting turn of events there. So I think the biggest thing was that Jew got taken out, which, what are you going to do? That's a tough one. So there you go. There's that. So a couple things there. But yeah, so I mean, definitely an interesting squad. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's very intriguing, and definitely something that could be useful depending on how you want to set it up and who you're facing, right? So I think it's a very interesting team. I like it. I do think that maybe though the pet, you could change the pets. Everything else though, I think is pretty solid. I actually like Anvari on that team. I do like that team setup. I think the other factor here is maybe you'd want to sub someone in for Nebula, but these four, very solid squad. I like that. I would just switch up the pets on these two, depending on who you're facing. But yeah, overall, I like that. That's not a bad team. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think Axel could definitely be a good option as a pet as well. But yeah, so I think that's pretty solid. For this particular stream, I will probably be ending it here very, very shortly. And I do want to thank all you guys again for hanging out with me on this live stream on this early Sunday morning. And I just want to say happy August 1st to everyone. Oh, Negro, happy early birthday to you. Tomorrow, I believe, is what you said. So happy early birthday. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with me on this live stream. I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. I will be dropping some videos. The more we learn about King Biscuit, I'm looking forward to that event next week. And with that being said, guys, I look forward to seeing you guys all in Dominion, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you, everyone.